Hello out there, YouTube gang, and anyone in the United States of America that is notice they're not getting much of a refund or possibly even owing the IRS this year. I'm going to show you how to get the maximum refund and make sure that the IRS does not wind up sending you letters for collections. As it seems that you'll notice I have the tinfoil hat on. That's because you may notice a phone with a cracked screen that got smashed in the trunk of my car on my way to New Jersey. There's a screenshot pulled up I'm going to read during this video. I have a new shirt that I ordered from Libertarian Company on Facebook. It is a line graph. Your level of fuck around determines your level of find out. And well, now, the things I'm going through have now funneled over to all hardworking American taxpayers. Now, the line has crossed a little too far with me, and we're going to show you guys how to fend off these people. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. I got the 1040 form tax instruction booklet with the tax tables. I have my W-2s from James Income Tax Service. Okay, I have some notations here. All right. Of my own W-2s. I have a fresh W-4 form because you will need that either through your HR department at your employer, or you can get one from your tax preparer if they offer the service. Okay, the ladies at James did explain to me how to do this video when I told them I wanted to do this. All right. And I also have a payroll tax calculator pulled up on my computer. I'm going to go through that towards the end of the video. Okay, the reason I put my tinfoil hat on is it never dawned on me when these comments started on my YouTube channel before I went to New Jersey what I was necessarily up against. This is from YouTube user Dayok Aslo. Dayok is short for Dark Age of Camelot, which is owned by Electronic Arts, the same company that owns the license rights to the Madden franchise on Xbox One and PlayStation Network. Okay, they like to use their Madden predictor for the Super Bowl, which it was wrong this year, by the way. Kansas City won. The Madden predictor from EA's official statement was predicting Philadelphia to win. At Joshua Howard, I bet you don't even know how to balance a checkbook, but nice try to convince me, others, and yourself that you won't go to jail for tax evasion. How about that? Somebody making a comment about problems on my taxes because I was exposing corruption and blackmail being used against Broadsword Online Games, a company that manages Dark Age Camelot for Electronic Arts, and they are the original creators of the game. And now all of a sudden me and how many million Americans are having problems with their taxes? How about that? I'm sure that's coincidental, though. When I get done with this video, I'm going to make sure to take an extra Zoloft for my paranoid delusions. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've been doing my own taxes for about 25 years. I just recently started going to James because she has been in Warren City for over 40 years doing taxes. She's an absolute pro, okay? If you're in lower income brackets, there's an old rule in taxes, the more you make, the more they take. Notice, single and no dependents, we get the highest tax penalties. We get the most money taken out of us because we don't have a wife, and we don't have kids, or we don't have a husband, okay? We don't have people living with us. All right, but also notice the percentage. All right, that's around 11 to 12%. All right, now, if you get into higher tax brackets, give me a second here. Let's say that you make $78,000 a year. Notice your tax liability goes up substantially, okay? It's a lot more than 11%. Almost $13,000 on $7,800, that's more than 11%. And in fact, once you go over $100,000, you don't even have a tax table anymore. The IRS actually just gives you percentages. Like you literally have percentages and like deductions. I mean, there's a special form I think you have to. I've never made over $100,000, so this is a little out of my league. I'm just showing you this for reference. So now we're going to take a look at my W-2s. I'm going to explain something because I don't see where this is an issue necessarily with specific companies, but rather payroll companies. So my first employer this year was HC Company Incorporated. Their corporate office is located in Twinsburg. The facility I worked at was in Middlefield. Notice, $5,282.56 taxable wages, $560 in federal income taxes, and they paid weekly. Weekly is supposed to take less taxes out than making the same wage and biweekly pay schedules with exactly double the amount of hours, because the gross amount of the check is higher. The more you make, the more they take. All right. So notice I'm at about that 10 to 11%. I actually calculated it out. It's 10.6%. Okay. Now, I changed jobs and I went to work for a company called Litco Manufacturing. Their corporate office is located in Vienna, and I made $25,000, but they only took $1,660. The difference between the two companies is HC uses Paycom. Litco uses Paylocity. Had I not cashed in my 401k and had them take additional taxes out for both federal and state, I would not have got a refund. I would have actually owed money this year. And if you look at my taxes, I am going to get a nice refund, but the only reason I'm getting a refund is because the additional taxes I had them take out of my 401k initially count as federal income taxes paid in for the year. So I can claim it on my refund. So it is no longer just me that is being affected by what is going on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the W-4 form. All right. You'll still fill out your name, address, city, etc. The ladies at James told me single married filing separately is the new 0. Okay, there's no longer 0 exemptions. Here's where the problem comes in. Steps 2 to 4 only if they apply to you, otherwise skip to step 5. As soon as people are going to see the 2 jobs or multiple jobs, they're probably not going to fill it out. So the lady said at James, don't even fill these section 2 and 3 out. Come to 4. Do not skip to 5. Come to 4 and go to extra withholding. Enter any additional tax you want withheld each pay period. In other words, if you look at your federal exemptions and your taxes being withheld and they're too low, you can actually fill out this box and your employer will take additional taxes out of your check every week or every 2 weeks or whatever your pay period cycle is to compensate for the amount that's not being withheld. And then you skip to step 5, sign and date, turn it into your human resources department. Your employer will do the rest and put it on file with the IRS, and that'll take care of it. Okay? So if you're wondering roughly where you should be at on taxes, okay, you can pick these tax forms up at your public library and look at the tables. And then what you can do is you can get online and use one of these payroll tax calculators. All right? They are usually set up so you can select state and things like that, and it'll give you a rough ballpark. I'm going to do this quickly to just give you an idea. So I'm going to use estimates on what I make. I make $15 an hour. I typically work 80 hours in a biweekly pay period. I'm single with no allowances. Okay? Now notice, use 2020 W-4. Okay, so they changed the W-4 form at some point. All right. So we got to make sure we got the most current. And see, it's too low. Those tax tables between those payroll companies should be universal, because the tax tables are set by the IRS. meaning Paylocity should be taking out roughly the same percentage that Paycom was taking out when I was working for HC before I changed jobs. And I don't recall the IRS indicating that they've made any type of changes to the tax tables for as far as what gets withheld. I just happen to notice it. All right,
You've got
you
mail.
happen to go through and you notice you've got hardly any refund or you owe money this year and you want to make sure it doesn't happen next year, I do strongly recommend that you fill out additional withholdings until the issue gets resolved, because clearly this is not an issue with the IRS per se, and clearly this is not an issue with your employer. This is something with payroll companies and whatever they're using to calculate taxes. All right. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Take care.